Hello there everyone and welcome back. As much as I love my torpedoes and pulsars, it's time to mix things up a little bit. And I'm pretty certain I hinted at it before, I'm going to experiment with a carrier style fleet. And so far, surprisingly, I have been enjoying the feel of it. It just remains to be seen how practical it is in comparison to just the sheer overwhelming burst potential of the torpedoes. Never mind the cruisers with their 8 torpedoes, I'm just talking about just the up close and personal and just erasing something quickly. Whereas the carriers, the fighter bays, kind of, at least thematically, feels like you should use these at longer range, which honestly is a bit of a fallacy because you're giving your opponent that much more time to respond to said fighters and bombers. So I don't know if that's really true, but to be fair, I never really did dip into a heavy carrier fleet, even in Armada 1. So I am a little bit out of my element, and I am gonna admit I am out of my comfort zone. I like the fighters and the bombers and what they offer for the Tau, but at the same time, the fighters and bombers are mostly to just screen for secret missiles. If I don't have access to secret missiles, then I'm relying almost entirely on my bombers to do the work for me. So this is going to be a brave new world for me, but like I said already, I kind of enjoy playing more the objective, since it is after all more encouraged to be a longer, more drawn out type of match. It's at least what it's feeling like so far. So let's get to it. Ooh, Adeptus Mechanicus. So the number one rule with my mobility is to never use my Falls Maneuver or Wraithbone Shift, if I can at all help it. Since that is just inviting me to get shot by a lot of Nova cannons, and it's gonna hurt. The real trick will be, aside from that little nuance I just said, the real trick is knowing when I can actually dodge a Nova cannon without actually having to use my Wraithbone Shift. That's something I'll have to get accustomed to with the mobility. In theory, it should be really damn simple due to the sheer rotation speed that these things have. But I don't know what I'm trying to think of. I'm just kind of used to light cruisers dodging them all day long, but since that's not a convenient thing to have, we are going to rely on these cruisers. And the only downside, of course, is I have one less ship just because of the increased point costs of these carriers, and against Mechanicus no less, which have more point defense to just deal with the fighters really well. So this is going to be a little bit tricky, but thankfully, with the means to recall all my fighters and bombers, I could preserve all my ships there. At least not be at a huge risk of running out of fighters, if nothing else. So I do have that going for me. Actually, I should have my dang Phoenix over here because it captures a lot faster. And then otherwise, I'm probably going to play the objective game, since that might be more advantageous for me. And then just slowly chip them down. Did I remember my manners? Yeah. Okay, I was worried there. So this looks simple. 5 Tyrants or something of that sort. Actually, I thought I clicked on my engine priorities. And the only thing I do dislike is that it gives away what's a frigate. But maybe it's a lower skilled opponent, due to the fact we're seeing a beacon, which is kind of unnecessary, you would think, for Mechanicus against Asuryani, since I don't really have the convenience of Shroud or Assault running.
I stand ready.
And I gotta be really mindful when I'm in range of the Nova cannons, since I don't have an easy way to check that. So I'm really damn reluctant to boost. Unless I'm boosting over here, that might be the exception where I'm boosting at a distance. But they got the point there, I'll reveal them pretty soon, and only thing to be mindful of is lances, really, is what game reveals will do for me. But they should have frigates anyway, you would think. Unless it's one of those fleets where they forfeit the frigates altogether to try and get themselves an Arc Mechanicus. I have seen that kind of fleet before. In which case I can use asteroid belts to help in that extent. I just don't want to get stuck in I don't want the beacon stuck on me, since that might help me for longer term. And since there's 5 of them with Nova cannons, it's going to be a lot trickier to punish said immobility that I talked about in my last video. Alright, so they have frigates. We know what they are. So can I grab this quickly?
You have seized a strategic area.
Okay, it's only fun. It was only the Eye of the Omniscient, not a big deal, thankfully. But that might change quickly.
You have seized a strategic area.
And I am getting shot at too, so critical hits are eventually going to take effect.
For the craft world.
And they're low crew complement or low troop count, so I can potentially just board these things to death. I don't know if they'll do enough damage, but with the 40% chance of critical hit, maybe it's in my future to kill these things. Although, I would like to actually take these objectives, since trying to board these things is not going to be in my favor. Now, just going to watch for more. They are using Eye of the Omniscion. And you should, in theory, dodge this. Can I dodge both of them with that said? Because this is a really awkward angle.
Relocating.
Alright, all the Eye of the Omniscions, okay. All of the Eye of the Omniscions.
The winds rise.
This might hurt,
You
but
have
it's only a
seized
single Nova can
strategic
too.
area.
I'm still stuck in the Eye of the Omniscient.
I stand ready.
Wow, this is weird. I don't know what to make of that, but I have the objectives. I am going to lose points, but that's not a big issue just yet. And if I can get the other frigate, then they can't conveniently just reveal me. So it probably is a newer player,
How may I serve?
and losing that generator sucks, but I can mitigate a lot of this damage quickly. And what are they? They are all Tyrants.
Craft world. Underway.
Ooh, I would love to go after that frigate. It's probably not really necessary since I am kind of revealed, but I do want my fighters to start dealing with these point defense. So I gotta watch carefully about that.
Thrusters.
Recall them as soon as I shoot down enough of the said point defense, and I did boost, didn't I? That was probably a big mistake to do that, since that opens me up to getting shot at. Actually, I should be reloading with that said. At least not until I'm ready to commit to fighting against the Mechanicus fleet, since the faster Wraithbone shift could have avoided what would have been a lot of damage otherwise with all those Eye of the Omniscience shots. Sadly, I'm not going to get my bombers, but since I'm flying towards them, that's not a big deal. Just gotta make some actual damage stick now. I would love the disruption bomb, but we're already in range.
And
sadly, I'm shooting at something I don't care about. I kind of want to recall my fighters. It would be kind of nice here. But remember, do not boost or anything like that, if I can help it. If I can help it. Bad time to lose my generator, but I'll take it, I guess. Now, this might likely hurt me.
Mariner's pirouette.
2 shots there. This one's kind of distracted, so it can't shoot.
I stand ready.
I'll take the 1 hit here. They're all the Eye of the Omniscience, interestingly enough. So yeah, this sadly is a newer player, but the damage is done.
I walk the mariner's path.
I think that thing's dead just from the maelstrom, so let's just get disengaged. Sadly, no opportunity for my bombers to do anything, but actually, it's out of the Eye of the Omniscience now. I can fix that.
Relocating.
My generators are down on both occasions, so I need to conceal this thing quickly. Otherwise, it's going to take a lot of lance damage. That is the plan. And I think that still gets me revealed. Okay, Pierce is a red dot, so I think I'm okay there. Now go after frigate. Your engines are gone, so it's a good thing I noticed that.
Walk the mariner's path.
And they are out of Eye of the Omniscience shots, so that is important to note.
For the craft world.
And I'll take this 1 hit gracefully.
Where the winds guide.
Oh, there's still Eye of the Omniscience. You got a lot of Eye of the Omniscience shots, but where the hell is your real threat?
How may I serve?
Alright. I did kill a tyrant. It is chasing me now. And dang it, you're going in the bad direction.
Bombers are in motion.
I was hoping to have you disengage completely there. Now you're just susceptible to getting rammed horribly.
Holding
Which is not at all what I want, but at least you have the armor to help mitigate heavily.
and ready. Relocating.
But you are going to be able to get out in a moment. Your generator's gone, which is going to really hurt.
For the craft world.
And I did prioritize
The
engines.
enemy has seized a strategic area.
And that should be all the Eye of the Omniscience.
Foretold.
So a bit of a mistake there, letting myself lose my own hollow field, but... Can I kill another one of these things? That's one cruiser gone. We're about to kill another. I've just got to keep good eye on my cooldown for my pulsars.
Suspect warriors report boarding successful. Relocating.
Okay, engine's gone there. Damn it, they had to turn at a really bad time. This is where I would love to have me some torpedoes, but not meant to be.
For the ancestors.
2 permanent engine critical hits.
The enemy has
Actually,
accumulated
those 2 cannot
25%
shoot at me, so I am
strategic
good shape to do some damage here. I just need my Phoenix to actually survive, which means
You have
my other ships need to
accumulated
pick up
50%
some of the
strategic
slack.
points.
And you are just gonna die.
Has them crippled. The winds rise.
Huh, I wonder why my false maneuver didn't activate. Because I thought I did turn it on.
Energize thrusters.
But otherwise, I think my flagship's the last gone.
I stand ready.
So we'll have one last hurrah with the disruption bomb.
Where the winds guide.
And see if we can do damage necessary here.
I walk the
Yeah, there goes the pulsars being ruined. They're really awkward at such a close proximity.
away.
It goes without saying. And you, actually, you can help shoot a little bit more.
Raise sail. Mariners.
Yeah, this thing's gonna die. I kind of already accepted that. I just want to do a little bit extra damage
50% of strategic
to help.
points.
Now, can I kill this thing? Is the big question.
Rise.
You cannot board yet.
Bombers are in motion.
Oh, now you're gonna try and do extra damage.
For the craft
That's gonna die to boarding. Or bombing, rather.
relocating.
Can we dodge the Novacan shots?
I walk
Since I can dodge that second one, can I dodge the first? It's the only thing I'm not sure about.
as foretold.
And are my bombers gonna recall?
I stand ready.
Did I save the bombers? I don't think I did, sadly.
We understand.
Nope, that was the wrong button. Oh,
Energize
that was unfortunate, but what's left? 2 ships, and I gotta grab objectives. I still have a nice point lead, but I'm just kind of playing with my food at the moment. And they have very little Novacan shots left to them.
Raise sail.
Now,
Dark star.
let's start dealing with the point defense with that all said. Since I can keep myself hitting really damn well.
Rise.
If my opponent wants to chase me, then they're gonna fly
The
into...
enemy
Let's
has
see.
seized a
Okay, I was
strategic
worried maybe
area.
your engine was gone. Not really the case, but you don't have your reload,
Relocating.
which is a bit of a problem.
How may I serve?
Yeah, you are gonna get shot at though. There's not much I could do about that effectively. And you are out in the middle of nowhere.
Stand ready.
I still have a good point lead,
I walk the mariner's path.
and I was a little bit slow to seeing that.
For the craft world.
Ah, dang it, the mutiny had to get me. And the fighters were... I figured you would have killed enough of those point defense by now, dang it. I am left disappointing, or disappointed. That should have been really good for me right there. Oh, and my generator is permanently gone, isn't it?
Relocating.
Let's see. I guess I'm gonna have to fight this out, although I have no bombers on you, and fighters are still doing a bad job shooting down point defense. So the one job I wanted them is absolutely pointless.
Understand.
It's probably because of repairs or something like that too, but I should have committed to that fight, dang it.
The enemy
That
has
doesn't do me much
accumulated
favors.
75% of strategic points.
And the bombers are just getting shot down too.
The ancestors.
And now because of the long rate of fire, it's tricky to actually do damage I want.
Where the winds guide.
Yeah, I lost this one there. Trying to expect my bombers to actually do something, or fighters, I suppose. Maybe if I commit to it really early on, maybe. The big problem with the fighters is that they can, or the point defense, they can repair
The
them
enemy is
at a
close to
good rate.
victory by strategic
Oh
points.
well. It was a good attempt, I enjoyed that. It's a question of when should I commit, though. Since they're not torpedoes, they take way too long to actually do proper damage. So ideally, I want to harass them and try and get the free kills like I did with that one Tyrant at the very early portions there. And try and get more of that, especially when I'm waiting for my cooldowns to come back up. So things with limited charges can be a bit of a liability there. Just a wee little bit. Oh, that's unfortunate though. But I enjoyed the attempt nonetheless, it's just not quite sure how to best optimize it. Okay, this looks like it's probably a rematch. I think this is the same person, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. And by differently, probably just properly. Which means grabbing the objectives, chip them down at range, at least as safely as I can. Since that seems like it could have been a very winnable match for me there. It's just, again, a question of how I should be getting the most out of said fighters, since the one subtle thing that you may not have noticed in the last match, it's that it takes an eternity for my fighters and bombers to actually redock with my ships there, if I recall them or they do their bombing runs, and that leaves them so vulnerable to getting shot down just because of that, when I'm having to juke and jive and of course Wraithbone shift. There is a little bit of optimization that probably needs to be done in maybe future patches, since that's a little inconvenient to have them still flying around for 20-30 seconds just trying to dock with your damn ships. It's annoying, I want to say at least. I still would like to have lock-on available, since the massively high critical hit chance is pretty damn good. But I like the Dire Avengers to help kill off crew quickly for a guaranteed critical hit, maybe kill off some frigates. Although, I'm going to suspect my opponent may be just going straight through to these 3 points. This suits the Mechanicus player a lot more, just because of the tighter clump of the objectives. So I'm going to have a hard time winning by the points itself, it seems like. But with that said, I think I'm just going to launch my fighters right away, and hopefully I could get some damage done. Probably not. If my opponent knows what they're doing, they're just going to maybe boost to minimize the effect. I don't know how exactly their behavior works. But I think I'm going to consider just launch them right away. Dealing with those point defense helps a ton. Especially since they're all spread out like this. This works perfectly with my point defense, or at least dealing with point defense. It's just a question how they act here. Hell, I almost wonder if I want to destroy their Nova cannons a little bit. Since if I could keep at full arm's lengths, then they should never seriously ram me there, so long as I keep it around 9,000 range at least. And I need to be careful, or I need to make sure I get good full value out of my disruption bombs, since I only have 3 charges of that. But we see once the engine critical hits are done, they take a massive amount of damage from the Maelstrom if I just leave that on top of them. Hell, they die incredibly quickly anyway. With my pulsars, the bombers seem like they are not pulling their weight a little bit. So first things first though, we'll cripple the point defense. Only sucky thing is that it is guaranteed to be short-lived just because of the blessing of the Omnisign, that emergency repair that Mechanicus have. They're just going to naturally repair their point defense over time, even with my best attempts. But I do have 2 objectives, I gotta watch for this, and maybe I can abuse the fact my opponent likes to use the Eye of the Omnisign almost exclusively for the first half of the match. And at least we're going to kill off 2 of these ships quite quickly. And Lances, at least the single Lances, all they do is put a clock on me. Forces me to either completely disengage or at least get something done before they do serious damage. They are still a risk. But yeah, this is looking a lot better already, isn't it? Now the question, should I get greedy and wait until all the point defense are gone? Damn it, this filter thing is annoying. But it's still Eye of the Omnisign, I suppose. But I don't think I'm going to get fooled by that twice. Damn it, really? My Wraithbone shift did almost nothing there. Even though it looked like I was out of the Omnisign. Okay, so recall them. Now let's actually start killing these things. The less Novacans I have to deal with, the better. Simply put.
For the ancestors.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Actually, let me recall everything for a massive, massive bombing run. It's again a question of how long is this going to take for me to activate everything. Because there's the repair there now.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Ooh, permanent engine destruction. I like it. I like it a lot. Do I even use my, Oh. I was gonna say, do I even use my dang ability? Alright.
I stand ready.
I was gonna wait till the final moment, but we'll see. I just gotta watch for Novacans, with that said.
I walk the mariner's path. Graveguard strike has them crippled.
Can this dodge? Probably not, but just barely.
How may I serve? Raise sail. Mariner's pirouette.
Alright. So thank you for the easy shield bomb, but I let my is my hull field charging? I kind of let my hull field go down for the lightning strikes, which is a little bit of a mistake.
Bombers are in motion.
And I let that go too. So I am doing a little bit of notable mistakes, and my pulsars are off cooldown, are on cooldown too, aren't they?
Relocating.
All right, boost. Their abilities are off cooldown temporarily,
Bombers are in motion.
and you are gonna ram into a structure unless I get you out of there
25%
quickly.
strategic points.
For the ancestors.
All right, so we are gonna get the ram in.
Understand.
It's not a very good ram, so I think I'm okay with that.
Underway.
But I need to punish and do a lot of damage here, especially with that engine critical hit.
Mariner's path.
And I should be trying to board more too, that's helpful, but this is the dream maelstrom right now. I just gotta make sure I'm hitting the right target.
I stand
And being within the 9,000 unit range sweet spot helps a lot with dealing with these things. At least dealing with the Novacans, they can't shoot me very effectively. But can I kill it?
Mariners.
Was that done wrong? Okay, that was done right. Engines are gone.
For the craft world. Bombers are in motion.
Now get moving, dang it. I am messing up my controls again, and I don't like it one bit. But that should be dead. Those two are safe. Disruption bomb's going to be annoying, but it's not nearly as bad as Novacans anyway.
50% of strategic points.
For the craft world.
Now, let's disrupt them, try to. This is going to hurt, but right now I'm in a phenomenal position.
Dark stars in flight.
So this is going to hurt quite a bit, but I am outside the blast.
I stand ready.
Oh, I'm actually going to get outside. I was going to say maybe I get out, but no. But engine critical hit, I'll take it.
How may I serve?
And now that fires are distracting, let me lob some bombers. There, that's looking beautiful. There's the value of the lock-on, even though it is a fair criticism to maybe be sticking to reload for the more active Wraithbone shift. But the main reason why I like lock-on, 35% chance to critically hit, especially against cruisers. That's like what, 28, 25%, somewhere around there? Somewhere in that ballpark at least. So this looks like a victory. I just didn't really play the objective very well, did I now? Definitely a lot more effective, but my opponent didn't take the fighters all that seriously either. Which again, it comes down to would boosting actually have been effective in dealing with said bombers and fighters. Since I got rid of point defense off two of those cruisers incredibly quickly. I just honestly can't remember with all my commentary if the bombers actually did noteworthy damage on those two cruisers to follow up on.
Bombers are in motion.
Okay, so my flagship might be dead, but I'm gonna board the hell out of you. I kind of been neglecting my boarding a bit.
That cannot be done.
There.
Raise
Now launch more bombers and we'll go after you.
For the craft world.
And actually, I did prioritize engines. They're permanently gone even.
Ancestors.
So that's all sorts of screwed. Hell, how many components did we just erase there with that salvo alone, I wonder? It is a bit ridiculous, but at the same time, if that was a battleship, it probably is not nearly as reliable to get a critical hit.
The enemy has accumulated.
Since what's the ratio again for a cruiser? 0.8 of the critical hit? So just reduce it by about 20% as I think is how it's supposed to work. So yeah, with the 35% critical hit chance, drop that down, yeah. So, yeah, 35, so reduce that by about 7.5% basically. So we're looking at around 20% critical hit chance on a cruiser. And destroying those engines are phenomenal. But again, it does come down a little bit if I should be trying to destroy the Nova cans. Okay, Tau Merchant Fleet. It's a big question of whether I'm dealing with Demiurge, Crude War Spear, or just standard, 6 heroes, which is probably the most terrifying of the Seeker Missile branch. Thankfully, I'm kind of well equipped to deal with the Seeker Missiles, just simply by the fleet design. Crude War Spears and Demiurge, well, the War Spears are going to be a bit of a pain, just because of the capture mechanic, I argue. Although everything is really damn well scattered, so I think that's in my favor too, at least at first, for now. Do I start with the lock-on or not? The main thinking is that way, if it looks promising for critical hits, I could just keep that stance, and that way I don't incur a cooldown, or go with the reload for the more proactive Wraithbone shift. This is my predicament right now, since reload doesn't help with my weaponry all that much, unless I want to go with dedicated starter cannons on, or las cannons for every single one of my ships. Since if it's Crude War Spear, I definitely switch these due to immunity to critical hit. That much is certain. Demiurge, I think critical hits to destroy their engines is important because they are pretty damn nimble, at least the cruisers are, the bastions. And otherwise, again, since there's 3 different style of fleets, I don't know which one I actually want there, if I want the Disruption Bomb or not. Since Disruption Bomb's going to easily get outlasted by the durability of the War Spears, so what am I most afraid of? Probably the War Spears, in all seriousness. Their raw health and immunity to critical hits makes them tricky to burst down. Well, thankfully, this does not look like it. And this one has Seeker Missiles. Alright. So, we see everything. Including the heroes.
I walk the mariner's path.
So I think what I'm going to do is just launch fighters and have everything defend. Try and outperform the fighter bays.
You have seized a strategic area.
If I can deal with the fighters, then I have easy answer to deal with the Seeker Missiles. I just gotta make sure there's no fighters around. And I do have the good mobility to dodge. So I think I switched though to reload to get faster or Wraithbone shifts. And someone's taking full advantage of this. Of the capture mechanic here. Which I think I'm okay with for now.
Raise sail.
And I'm planning on going after this anyway. And they don't have micro warp jump. And you have the standard combustion gauge. So what's your auto upgrade, I wonder?
How may I serve?
Probably the enhanced range on the frigates.
Where the winds guide.
They do outnumber me, it's a question. I do want to support them with my cruisers. Additional point defense.
We understand.
Since really, my fighters are naturally superior. Instead of 70% dodge, they have 80% dodge, which is quite notable. I just wish I knew which fighter was engaging first so I can call them back.
Has seized a strategic area.
Now, no Seeker Missiles yet. That's important to note.
Coolant. For the craft world.
See if we could do some damage here. Okay, all the fighters have been dealt with. This is an easy answer, but yep, this is really easy to deal with. The Seeker Missiles are in front of the fighters, I just gotta... Actually, I have an even easier solution to this, for crying out loud. Just use the gas cloud. Just shoot this thing freely, then disengage. And actually, I should just recall everything for safety's sake.
Mariner's pirouette.
I did a lot of good damage there for free. There goes one charge of the seeker missiles. And maybe I should have repaired off that fire.
The ancestors.
That might have been worthwhile. But
The winds rise.
let's deal with these additional fighters here. I want to outlast.
Dark stars.
We are dealing with a damn battleship for crying out loud, but not a lot I can do there, but this will force... Oh, a mission dissipator. I think I'm hearing mission dissipator. That's probably what it is.
Raise sail. Dark stars.
And generator's gone. That's a big deal, but again,
As foretold.
this is an easy solution because there's no fighters around.
Where the winds sky.
So that's 2 charges of the missiles. Although they are kind of getting split, so my opponent's doing the smart thing. Having to make me micromanage this a bit. Sadly, that's not helping.
The winds rise.
Let's not get cocky though. This is a bad angle. I should have turned a lot sooner.
Rise.
Now, gotta keep in eye. Again.
How may I
Ooh, that could have sucked. I'm gonna grab that objective there. Have these 3 go in.
foretold?
And I did use a disruption bomb, alas.
Foe is here.
Kill the flagship because they're really bad at morale.
Underway.
Oh, seeker missiles, so those I could deal with. I have fighters to help some.
Energize thrusters.
And the railgun fire isn't all the most impressive, but sadly they did overwhelm my fighters some. That was a bad false maneuver. That was not what I want, but
Loading action has met its objectives.
can I disengage in any way? Nope. I do have fighters though.
Aspect warriors report boarding successful.
Now where's my other one? Oh, you're out in the middle of nowhere. That's a bit unfortunate. I was thinking maybe you would at least grab the objective.
Relocating. I walk the mariner's path.
Oh, oh, your engine was critically hit. I didn't realize that, dang it. If I noticed that, that would not have been as big of an issue.
Vessel. Raise sail.
Yeah, and I'm doing a bad job with you too, but at least their fire split. You're about to die. And I don't have my generator up for a maelstrom, sadly.
Winds sky.
But I can hide you, maybe.
The ancestors. As foretold.
Nope, you're not hitting yet, but maybe you will.
Holding advance.
Okay, I guess you're not gonna hide.
The mariner's
And I'm doing a bad job with you. I'm embarrassed to say.
action has met its objectives. The winds
Maybe I should genuinely be afraid of the all-seeker missile type fleet. Since I just let myself get shot endlessly there. Thinking maybe playing passively was the route to go.
The enemy has accumulated.
So I really do need to
25%
understand where this is
strategic
strongest. Because we killed the battleship incredibly well, so... What I'm learning is I should still be decisive and not try and play the objective game maybe. Or try and outlast them. Which seems like the right strategy for the fighter fleet.
cannot be done.
It seems like it. Since after all, the cold, hard truth is, why not just use torpedoes then, for crying out loud?
Suffering catastrophic damage.
Since wouldn't they be better in this circumstance if I try getting aggressive? That's what I'm trying to understand a little bit. I enjoy the potential. I'm just not learning how to get the most out of them. Is what is, at least what is apparent.